Well, you might also know that we, in order to close that gap, we delayed tax refunds and some vendor payments. We delayed the 2009 tax refunds, although we were within the legally allowable 90-day period to issue those refunds. We were a victim of our own success. We had made it a point of personal pride. After my first 4 years, you were getting tax refunds immediately. There were very few days that were going by after you filed, you were getting those tax refunds very, very quickly compared to when we first came into office. So when we had this delay, it was glaring because we had become so good at getting those tax refunds out. But again, our option was to delay the refunds until the start of the new fiscal year, when July 1st rolled around, or have additional massive cuts to education, to health and human services, and we did it as well to avoid any tax increase. And it worked because we got through the most difficult period we needed to go through, to get through, and now things have started to turn. I can tell you that on June 30th of this past year, when we closed the books, remarkably, our expenditures were below our revenues. That is a very difficult thing to achieve when you have those dropping revenues. To you, it's normal, it's business, it's what you have to do, but for the government to actually have current year expenditures fall below current year revenues in a time such as this, it was quite a great achievement. So that prudent fiscal management, I feel, put us on track for the recovery that I think is just now starting. Our unemployment is relatively low compared to the other states. It's now 6.4% compared to 9.5% at the national level. We're the 6th lowest unemployment during the month of August. Unemployment decreased on every island except for Kauai, which has remained unchanged. There are 2,000 more people working this August in the state of Hawaii than there were last August. And while we recognize that there are still many out of work, looking for work, or underemployed, we are continuing to focus till our last day on job creation through programs such as Hawaii Premium Plus, which will help employers to cover the healthcare costs for the first year if they bring on new full-time employees. And we are continuing to keep our focus on the modernization plans for Hawaii's infrastructure at the airports, harbors, and highways. Not only is it stimulative because of the construction work that occurs, but it also prepares us for the future. We came in, we found airports that weren't up to speed, we found harbors that were inefficient and overutilized, and of course, we all know about the roadway situation. Tourism has started to recover. It's not my opinion, it's a fact. The numbers for August will be released this morning, and let me give you a preview. Visitor expenditures increased 30% to $1.1 billion last month over the same month last year. For the first 8 months of the year, expenditures were up 12.7%, or $7.5 billion. Visitor arrivals are up 11.8% in August. This is the 9th consecutive month of visitor arrival growth. We all know the issue about how much they're spending when they come. We all know the issue of the reduced room rates, but the fact is, in real spending, there has been a substantial increase throughout this year. So far this year, total arrivals to Hawaii are up by 7%. And the increase in airline seats is going to result in even more positive growth and spending on all islands. We have some great positive commitments from Alaska Air, which you know has become a major carrier now into the state. And in the month of November, our own Hawaiian Airlines will begin its direct flights between Honolulu and Haneda in Japan. This is a huge development for us. Haneda is the new airport, new for us in Japan, so that you don't have to fly to Narita, which is over an hour's drive from downtown Tokyo. Haneda is also the connector for the regional airlines in Japan. So whether they have direct flights or not in their town, in Sapporo, wherever they're from, their city, now they can fly into Haneda, get on that connector, and come directly to Hawaii. So this will create an uptick in visitors from Japan. The Disney project out at Ko'olina is on track to open in the fall of next year, and I recently walked the property. It is amazing property. It is the first time Disney has built a resort that's not connected to a theme park, and it is Disney all the way. It's going to be world-renowned. It is very, very exciting. There are about 800 people out there working right now on the construction of it. They'll end up with about 1,500 people once they're up and running. It has the opportunity to really lift the whole west side of the island of Oahu, and it's very exciting. They're already hiring, and they're starting to take reservations now. People are calling me, say, can you get me in it when Disney opens? So it really is exciting. And when I met with the Disney president when this first started, and I asked him, why did you choose Hawaii? You're not going to be connected to a theme park. You've never done this before. He said, because our vacation club members, which is their timeshare group, the people, their #1 request is for us to have a property in Hawaii. They say, we'd like to go to the theme park places, but we want to go to Hawaii. Second reason was because the brand of Disney and the brand of Hawaii are similar. It's about families, it's about quality, it's about having a good time in a safe place. So it really is a great matchup between Disney and the state of Hawaii. Disney is also known for its film and television, and it's been a great year in Hawaii, a record year for film and television production. It's expected to reach $350 million this year. That's never happened before. We think we could reach $400 million by the time the year closes if 3 productions that are currently scouting in Hawaii come through. It's estimated so far that these productions have generated 2,200 full-time jobs locally. There were 9 feature films shot on Oahu, Maui, the Big Island, and Kauai this year, including Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, Clint Eastwood's Hereafter, George Clooney's The Descendants, and Battleship. And of course, the new Hawaii Five-0. If you're like me, you're a fan already. It is great. It is a huge show. It's #1 right now in network television, and it's doing great things for our economy. They'll spend $60 million this year on their very first year. I just returned from Los Angeles a day before yesterday, and it showed Hawaii Five-0 was on Monday night, so I watched it on the CBS affiliate in my hotel room. Not only did they promo forever, it seemed like before the show came on, once the show came on, then they said, and in our news tonight, we're going to tell you about some activities the stars are doing while they're living in Hawaii on Hawaii Five-0. And they had Daniel Day Kim, and they had the other lead there talking about what they do in Hawaii. Then after the news, Daniel Day Kim was on Letterman talking about Hawaii Five-0. So clearly, this is a big boost for Hawaii. And the credit, in my opinion, for this, to a large degree, goes to Georgia Skinner. She heads our Creative Industries division for DBED. And as you may know, we took a lot of guff during the legislative session because we had to cut the size of the film office during our layoff procedure, which we, as I said, it's not a fun thing to do. We had to do it. And the legislature, not of course our legislators here, but they remember this well. They called our guys down there. They berated us for making these changes. We said, no, we have a plan. We know it's going to work. It's not going to hurt production. And here we are, even after the layoffs, we had a record year of production. And again, Georgia Skinner deserves a lot of credit. And my guys say, but those legislators never called us back and said, thank you, and you were right. That's the nature of what we do. But seriously, it's been just a great year and an important year.